Good morning. You're welcome to class, and today I'll be teaching you context clues. I am sure you want to know what context clues are. So let's get started. Context clues are hints found within a sentence, a paragraph, or passage that a reader can use to understand the meaning of new or unfamiliar words. Context clues are hints or clues that you can find within a sentence, a paragraph, or passage that can give you the meaning of new or unfamiliar words, even without looking at a dictionary. Now, these hints are given by the author to help the reader define a difficult or unusual word. The clue may appear within the same sentence, or it may be in the following sentence. Okay, now because most of our vocabulary is gained through reading, it is important that we are able to recognize and take advantage of context clues. Now we're looking at types of context clues. I'm going to give you 4 context clues that are quite common. They are synonym, antonym. Antonym is also known as contrast, explanation, and example. Synonym, antonym, explanation, and example. Now let's begin with synonym. As you know, synonyms are words that are similar in meaning. They have almost the same meaning as another word. For example, shut is the same as close. Shut the door, close the door. Study is synonymous with read. Now in this case, a synonym or a word with the same meaning is used in the sentence. A synonym or a word with the same meaning is used in a sentence. Now you can use the synonym of this word to identify the meaning of the word. For example, my opponent's argument is fallacious, misleading, plain, wrong. Now if I don't know the meaning of fallacious, I would know that fallacious is not really a good thing because of the synonyms that are close to the word: misleading, plain, and wrong. Okay, so that's a synonym type of context clue. Now we're moving on to the antonym or contrast. It is called contrast because they are opposite in meaning. They are not saying the same thing, and that is why it is known as contrast. In contrast context clues, a word or group of words that has the opposite meaning reveals the meaning of an unknown term. Now, I'm going to read a sentence for you. Although some men are loquacious, others hardly talk at all. Although some men are loquacious, others hardly talk at all. So what do you think loquacious means? This gives us a hint that loquacious means talkative or chatty. Okay, a loquacious person is a talkative person. It's someone who talks, who likes to talk. He's garrulous. Okay, so this gives you a hint that loquacious is someone who talks a lot, because we also have the antonym in the sentence which says other hardly talk at all. So that gives you a clue. Now moving on to the explanation context clue. The unknown word is explained with the sentence or in a sentence immediately preceding. In this case, you explain the words, the unknown words. For example, the patient is so somnolent that she requires medication to help her stay awake for more than a short time. I'm going to read it again, and I want you to listen and focus. The patient is so somnolent that she requires medication to help her stay awake for more than a short time. That means this patient likes to sleep because she needs drugs to be able to stay awake. Therefore, I'll conclude the somnolent means drowsy or sleepy. So the patient is a sleepyhead. You say context clues, it's quite easy, right? You don't have to, of course you can look at a dictionary to be sure, But perhaps you are in an examination, there's no dictionary, there's nothing you can use. You can trust on context clues. That is why it is important to recognize them and take advantage of them. Okay? Now the last one, the last kind of context clues we'll be looking at today is the example context clues. Here, examples are used to define the term. For example, celestial bodies such as the sun, moon, and stars are governed by predictable laws. Now, if I had never heard of the word celestial bodies, this would tell me that celestial bodies are natural objects located outside Earth's atmosphere, because sun, moon, and stars have one thing in common. They are not something your hand can just reach out to. They are in the heavenlies. Okay, so these are celestial body because they are located outside Earth's atmosphere. Now, to show that you understand what I've been saying, I'm going to read some sentences and I'd like you to pay attention because you're going to tell me what kind of context clue is used in that sentence. You ready? Of course you are. Now let's get started. Number one, the girl who used to be very vociferous doesn't talk much anymore. The girl who used to be very vociferous doesn't talk much anymore. So what kind of context clue do you think we have here? We have vociferous and doesn't talk much anymore. Of course, it is the antonym or the contrast. That is very correct. Good job. So that tells you the vociferous means talkative, outspoken, chatty, or noisy. Good. Now, number two, another example. So you're going to tell me the kind of context clue used here. Pedagogical institutions, including high schools, kindergartens, and colleges, require community support to function efficiently. Type of context clue here is the example, because definition of pedagogical means having to do with teaching. You see, they gave you including high schools, that's like high school, so that's definitely an example type of context clues. Number three, he was so parsimonious that he refused to give his own sons the few pennies they needed to buy pencils for school. It truly hurt him to part with his money. I'll read the sentence again, it's a bit long. He was so parsimonious that he refused to give his own sons the few pennies they needed to buy pencils for school. It truly hurt him to part with his money. What do you think parsimonious means? Of course, it means stingy. Good. So what kind of context clue is this? Explanation. Correct. This father is so stingy, he's tight-fisted, that, you see, he's explaining that he refused to give his own children the few pennies they needed to buy pencils for school. And it's added an additional fact. It truly hurt him to part with his money. No, good. You're doing a good job. Shows that you understand. Good job. Now, the last question for you. The girl was churlish, rude, sullen, and absolutely ill-mannered. This is quite easy, right? And this is synonymous, yes, because churlish, sullen, rude, ill-mannered, they mean the same thing. They have a similar meaning, okay? So that is a synonym context clues. Take note, context clues are important in English language. Do you know why? They develop your vocabulary and build your lexicon. So this is where I'll draw the curtain. Thanks for joining today's class. Bye.